Hi, welcome to Microtechie YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn about a very interesting formulas: DSUM, DGET, DAVERAGE, DMAX, DMIN. What these formulas are? Why are they very special? Okay, so let's get into the Excel screen to explore more about these formulas and see what this formula can do for us. All right. So now I am in the Excel where we're going to test all these formulas one by one. In case if you want to use this Excel which I'm using, I have provided you the downloadable link in the description section. You can go ahead and download it from there to practice after watching the entire video. So let's start working on these scenarios one by one. So the first question is total sales in May month. Now, when I want to see the total sales in May month, we already have formulas like sum ifs or sum if can handle it. But DSUM is also a formula which can handle this. What the D stands for? Database. Okay. Now, why DSUM is very powerful compared to sum ifs? So let's try to understand whether this DSUM or DAVERAGE or DCOUNT, all these guys can do whatever sum ifs, count ifs, average ifs can do. And then later we will explore why DSUM is very powerful and where exactly you need to think about using them. So let's start writing this simple formula. Total sales of the May month. If I'm going to use a sum ifs formula, so the first input is the range where I have the values to be added, comma. The next input is the range where I want to check for the criteria, comma. Then what is the criteria I want to check is the May month. So when I close the braces, I'm going to get the total sales of May month, which is my simple sum ifs function. But how do I do this with the DSUM function? So let's see how do we use this formula. So DSUM, open bracket, the first input is database. So I'm going to select my entire data, including the header, comma. The next one, hey, this what it is asking by the word field means this sum operation should be done in which field, meaning which header. I want the sum operation to be done on the billed amount. So you can type that header manually inside the double quotes just like this, or you can select the cell which holds that header. So I selected the cell, meaning I'm trying to say the sum operation should be done on the billed amount column. So I selected that header so that the formula knows to which column it has to go and get that summing operation, comma. Let's go to the last input. It's asking what is the criteria when I take the billed amount for totaling. Do you want to take everything or do you want to take only a particular? I want to add only those which belongs to May month. So my criteria is nothing but the bill month should be May. So only effort from the user when you want to use this D family functions, you need to construct this criteria area. How do you construct it? The first one is the header involved in the criteria, which is bill month, and the next cell is nothing but what is the condition you want to check in that column. So where we want to get only the May month, so I've just kept the May month ready. So we're just going to close the braces and we're going to hit the enter. We got the same answer what you got from the sum ifs. So the DSUM is really an equivalent to the sum ifs as well. The only effort from the user side is constructing this criteria range for the DSUM to work. So let's go to the next sheet and see, can it also perform the average? So here we want to check D average. So let's see what we are looking at here is, can you get the average sales of Frank done in the month of February? So let's go ahead and write this in the average ifs formula. So equal to average ifs, and I'm going to select the billed amount, comma, and the criteria is on the bill month, comma. In the bill month my criteria is February, comma. The next criteria is on the salesperson, comma, and the criteria in the salesperson is Frank. So we selected the criteria ranges and the criteria. So average is 489.5. So that's what we are able to see right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how do we do this with the D average. So D average, the first input is our database, so we're going to select that, comma, field, which column values you're going to take the average, build amount, comma, and what criteria. Build month should be Feb, salesperson should be Frank. So the criteria is ready already. Close the braces, hit the enter, and we are supposed to see the answer. Why are we not seeing the answer? What did we miss? We need to select with the header, which is very important. Okay, D family functions works based on the headers, guys. I voluntarily did that mistake so that you know when things will not be working. So when you forget to select the header, the D family functions will not work, because as you can see, everything is based on header, because you giving the header where we have the values for averaging, we're including the header even in the criteria so that it knows on which column what is the criteria I have to apply. So everything is based on the header. So you could say yes, average GIPS alternative can be D average, and I would say honestly, looking at the complexity of writing it, D average is quite simple to write compared to averages, and that's my personal opinion, but I'll leave it to you guys. Do let me know in the comment section what do you think about whether average ifs are easier to write or D average is easier to write. So let's go to sheet 3 and let's see whether the counting is also possible. So let's go ahead, and this time they're saying, can you count the number of transactions where the build amount is between 1000 and 1500? So let's go ahead and write this equal to count ifs. The area is the build amount, comma, the criteria is this one first, comma, criteria range 2 is the same criteria because the second condition is also on the same column. So I'm selecting those two criteria, and it says there are 7 transactions. So let's go ahead and do this with the DCOUNT. So the DCOUNT database, remember with the header is very important, comma, and which field are we trying to count as a build amount, comma, and what's the criteria? Here is the criteria, and we're going to close the braces, hit the enter, same. So far in the first 3 sheets, we saw DSUM, DAVERAGE, DCOUNT can do what our sum ifs, average ifs, and count ifs can do. Now it's a time to understand, hey, hurry, we understood, yes, there is another formula to do these things, but what's so special about these formulas, the D formulas? So let's get that right now. So let's go to sheet 4. Watch this time. I want to get the total sales of Frank and Janet. Now, can my sum ifs can get it? So let's go ahead and write sum ifs. The column to be added is the build amount, comma, column to be checked is a salesperson column, comma. Now I can specify criteria 1, which is Frank. Now criteria range 2 is again the salesperson column, and the criteria 2 is Janet. And when I close the bracket, what I'm expecting to see is the total of Frank and Janet sales together, but unfortunately will not happen. Okay, so but let's see whether DSUM is doing it. Once we are able to see the DSUM is able to do it, we will get the explanation why it is not possible in SUMIFs and why it is possible in DSUM. So DSUM first is a database. So let's go ahead and select the database, comma, which field is going to be used for summing, build amounts. We selected the field, comma, where is the criteria? Here's our criteria under the salesperson. Close the braces, hit the enter. It says 7,658. So let's go ahead and use the filter and cross check whether our answers are right. So I'm going to turn on the filter. So let's filter for Frank and Janet. When I choose Janet and Frank, when I select these cells, you could see here it is 7,658, which is perfectly right. Now it's time to understand that why SUMIFs cannot handle such requirement. Guys, SUMIFs cannot handle OR logics in their criteria. It can handle AND logic, whereas it cannot handle OR logics in their criteria. What do I mean by OR logic? Here, we really want to take the data from the build amount when it is either Frank here or Janet here. Okay, so that is something your SUMIFs cannot do, whereas DSUM can handle it much easily. The only thing we need to make sure the criteria are placed not in the same row, in different row. So when the criteria are placed in different row, the DSUM is going to follow the OR logic. It is just exactly like your advanced filter setup. If you are new to the advanced filter setup or advanced filter area, I have provided you the link for my advanced filter video. You can watch it so you understand how to set up this criteria range and what logic. When you place the condition in the same row, it's AND logic. When you place the conditions in different row, it's OR logic. Those kind of insights you will get more clarity when you watch my advanced filter video. All right, so now we understood that DSUM is very powerful compared to SUMIFs, because SUMIFs cannot handle OR logic, but DSUM or DCOUNT or DAVERAGE or DMAX or DMIN, these guys can handle AND logic as well as OR logics in the criteria. So let's see, is there any special functions in the D family which is quite different, which is not like the SUMIFs, averages, COUNTIFs or something like that. Okay, so let's see what is that special function we have in the D family. So I am in the sheet 5 right now. Okay, so I am in the sheet 5 and trying to see what is the actual requirement here and why this particular D function is quite interesting. So watch it. It says the requirement is which salesperson has given us the maximum sales. So this time we need to find out which sales guy has given us the highest sale. So literally we are trying to extract data from a table based on a value, which your lookup formulas can do, like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index and match can do. But can this D family formulas can also do that? So watch it. The criteria is here is finding out the maximum sales in the build amount. So I have my header ready and we have the criteria value ready, which is we got by using the max formula, which is going to return the highest value in the build amount. Now we know that SUMIFs or MAXIFs or COUNTIFs cannot do it. We need the help of a lookup formula. But instead of a lookup formula, can this D formula can do it? So the special function which will help us to get a relevant data of a value is DGET. So DGET is a formula which will get the relevant data of a particular value from any column you specify. So let's go ahead and write this formula DGET. As usual, it's the entire database, comma. Now you can specify, okay, which column data you want to extract, which belongs to this highest bill amount. So let's say, for example, our intention is to get the salesperson. So the field in this case is going to be the salesperson, comma. The criteria is, why don't you go and search for the highest value in the build amount column. So the moment I close the braces and hit enter, it tells me June is the person who got the highest sale. So let's cross check. The highest sale is 1909. So here we got 1909 and we got the person respective to that highest value. So DGET is a formula which will help you to get the relevant column information which pertains to a particular criteria, and the criteria here is the maximum value in the build amount. So we have come to the end of this video. So in this video, I've shown you the special functions like DSUM, DCOUNT, DAVERAGE, and finally DGET. And why these guys are very special, because these guys can handle AND logic and OR logics in the criteria area, and a very special function is DGET, which is just like your lookup formulas, which is also available in the D family functions. Okay, I believe this video would have helped you to learn something new, to put it into action and see what these formulas can do for you. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it to your colleagues and friends who could get benefited out of it. If you are the first time viewer of our channel, Do not forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon and the bell icon, so that next time when we come up with another interesting video, we can connect again. So we'll meet you again next time with another interesting video. Till then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hariharan.